The name's Carson, Carson, not Carter. Eric or Cassius, Dick Sheets beat Colin. Cutting in and out on the radio, 10-4 Dick Sheets, come back. There's a bunch of hacks on the course. Laura's in the grill room, saying just end it. Joel downstairs, selling that cotton. Woody just chasing the fireman, I got the fireman.
All right, Ben and Bones, episode 6, back from a 2-week hiatus. We have PGA professional Carson with us, and also probably the #1 fan of the show.
Oh, yes, definitely. Love it, man. You guys are the bomb.
Sorry, go ahead.
What am I supposed to say, like, long-time listener, first-time caller?
Yeah, first time, long time.
Carson, are you on the TaylorMade staff still?
I am on the TaylorMade staff, yep.
You think we could get them to sponsor this episode and maybe the next episode?
Dude, I was thinking about, like, bringing a TaylorMade hat and, like, just throwing it on, being like, yo, I get $12 for every podcast appearance that I make.
Can you hook me and Jack up with some new drivers? I'm really feeling that R15.
Yeah. Hello? I'm
there
sorry.
I'm sorry. I mentioned you hooking me up with a free TaylorMade driver, and you have to just leave the show.
Dude, I was getting calls from TaylorMade. They were like trying to sign deals, man.
All right, perfect. All right, well, let's just dive into things. Jack, I know you are a big student of the NFL Combine. I didn't really get to watch much. I saw the highlights. I don't know if anything jumps out at you, or you have any highlights you want to bring up?
Underrated part of the Combine, no homo, is the gigantic cocks on these guys. Unbelievable. These guys are running 40s in compression shorts, and you get these big offensive linemen, and it's just like an elephant tusk swinging around. It's like, package that thing up, man. You can run so much faster. Yeah. Too much draft.
Big Cap blogged that. He's like, a lot of weird balls at the Combine this week.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's hard not to. Those shorts, man, they need to make those things a little bigger.
Nothing. I don't want to get too much into it because I doubt it's everyone loves it as much as I do. But I will say that kid Byron Jones from UConn.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
He had like a 45-inch vert. He broad jumped 12 foot 2 inches, which was like
world record.
I think it's a world record, and it was like 8 inches longer than Jamie Collins, who's like the biggest freak athlete of all time.
Yeah.
So I love that shit. It's just so interesting, and like, these guys are just physical specimens. Like Vic Beasley ran a 4.5 40 vertical leap of 42 inches, bench press 225 35 times. It's like, these guys are fucking freaks, dude. But
yeah,
I don't know. I loved it. It was sick.
Yeah. Those guys they're so cut up. Like, just their bodies, they're like, I mean, they're like not human.
No. And they all look like Greek gods. It's ridiculous.
Just chiseled.
Yeah.
You got anybody you want the path to take? I know you were eyeing that Louisville lineman with the red dreads. How did he do at the Combine?
He did all right. Little stiff in the hips. He's a pretty good player. My boy is Todd Gurley, and I'm very happy that he didn't participate because he would have blown the doors off the Combine had he. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a boring draft for the Pats. I think they're going to get an offensive lineman, which is fine. Whatever. That's what we need. But
they're projecting another offensive lineman from Florida State. Like, come on.
That kid's good, though.
Is that Belichick's new Rutgers? Is that Belichick's new Rutgers, Florida State?
Rutgers.
I think it might be because they brought in their O-line coach from like the last 30 years, Dante Scarnecchia, to come with them.
Yeah.
And he was scouting everybody, so who knows what's going to happen. I mean, everyone's saying you don't draft a running back in the first round, but you and I both know LeGarrette Blount can't get it done against every team besides the Colts, so I think we could use a beast like that. But you know what? My biggest takeaway from the whole thing was, as much as I shit on the Garoppolo pick last year, it ended up being the right move. Because if we had to go into this one trying to get Brett Hundley and groom him, like, come on, no chance. And those guys, when the wide receivers were working out and those guys were throwing to him, it was pathetic. So bad. It's like, you guys are the best prospects in the country? What are you doing? overthrowing guys by 50 yards. Like, come on.
Carson,
Dude,
can I get an outsider's perspective on since you're a Vikings fan, the Packers-Seahawks finish, and then Deflategate take from you?
The Packers-Seahawks, man. I was in Wisconsin for that Packers-Seahawks game, and I was surrounded by like 10 diehard Packers fans. And watching that game with them, you know, I'm a innocent bystander being a Vikings fan, but I'll still cheer for the Pack. But those guys watching that game, their emotions. I mean, they cried. They cried. After
I think I would have cried. That was brutal. I think I would have cried too.
Dude, like I've never seen grown men like be so sad, about a game. And then what'd you say on the Super Bowl, right, Pats?
I just wanted to hear your Deflategate.
Deflategate is totally overhyped, talked about way too much. No, the Pats were a better team than everybody. You know, I'm sorry, I said it. That had no impact, and everyone's saying that. Everyone that knows football is saying that. You know, like
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the big ups to the Pats, man. Congrats, guys. Something I don't know if I'll ever know that feeling.
Let's get Carson's feelings on Adrian Peterson. What's going on there? He said he gets back.
That's a nice transition to my next topic.
AP, man, I don't know what to think. I loved him. I loved watching him for my team. You know, how could you not? And I'm scared that he's going to be gone, but he is going to be gone. He said he's not going to play for them. So I just hope they can get some.
I don't blame him. Everything he's saying is like, the team didn't have his back, and they basically didn't. Like, it's hard in that situation. But really hard in that situation. But they threw him under the bus.
Yeah, they threw him under the bus, but they're also kind of saved their organization's face. You know, like, look, everyone in the country was, thinking he was in the wrong there.
They did kind of screw it up, though, the Vikings. They were like, oh, he's suspended, he's back, he's on the commissioner list. Let's wait till Goodell does something and see what we can do.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But I just hope they can get something good for him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a Cowboy, though.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
I want the Pats to get everybody on the commissioner's list, minus Ray Rice. I want Greg Hardy and
Peterson.
And just the bad boys of the NFL.
I was thinking about that, actually, if a team did that, man. That'd be the Raiders should do it. I don't know. If anyone's going to do it, the Raiders should do it.
That's 100% going to be the name of my fan, the commissioner's list.
Wow. Oh, that's such gold.
Because we know Des Bryant's about to be on it.
Dude, what's up with that?
That's where I was going next. So my first question is, the article's coming out today says his video is 5 times worse than the Ray Rice video. What, did he just tie down some girl and rip her heart out with no anesthetics or something? Like, what's 5 times worse than cold clocking your wife in an elevator?
Yeah. Yeah. No. So no one's seen it, right? They haven't released it, right?
No one's seen it, but I guess they've leaked screenshots to various media outlets.
That's no good, man. No good. I love Dez.
I do too. You're talking to a fan club right here.
Love Dez, man. But yeah, I don't know. He's got to have. Didn't he get in a fight with he didn't get in his fight with his mom, did he, or something like that?
He did in the past, yeah, because she was
right.
I heard. Apparently, he knocked out on Barstool. They said he knocked out some woman in a Walmart, which there's no way they could conceal that tape for that long, especially if it was the beginning of the season.
Free Dez.
Free Dez.
Why do you just have that in your office?
Why not?
Touche.
No, but that's the point, Ben, is that if he knocked out somebody in a Walmart, there's zero chance that video has not gotten out yet. I think
Right,
I
yeah,
I saw
exactly.
today that this reeks of extortion, and Big Cat said something similar
Yeah.
to it. His buddies were like, "Dude, remember that time you fucked up?"
Yeah.
Oh
I can
shit,
see
that time, you know? So he doesn't know. And you know what? Here's the reality of the situation. How much will TMZ pay for it? $1 million, let's say, right? How much will Fox News? How much will any of these entities would pay? They have to do a cost-benefit analysis. How many page views are we going to get? How much traffic are we going to get? How many people are going to see this and talk about us, whatever, right? If this is career-threatening to Des Bryant, and he's made X amount of millions of dollars of his career, and he's set with a franchise tag to make $10 million, why doesn't Des just outbid everybody and say, "Sorry, I got it, it's out"?
Because who's to guarantee there's not copies made of it, and then you do that, and then they sell it to this place anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, criminals have to have some kind of honor code, right?
Nah, man. That's why they're criminals. Because they don't.
Snitches get stitches, right, Benny?
Amen.
It's true.
But as Omar would say, man got to have a code.
You know what? It's weird because it's been played up so much that it's like a weird feeling for me that we all love Des here. I don't want it to come out because I don't want his career to be over and for him to get whatever. But I'm also so fascinated.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be so let down if it's like, oh, this is a hoax, you know? So
yeah,
I
I love Des, but I want to see this.
Yeah. You know what doesn't help him is you see how he rants on the sidelines, and it's like, this isn't a guy who's in control of his emotions. He's a psycho.
No.
He's a violent man.
He is.
He plays violent.
Even like he was getting a little better like on the sidelines, obviously, but then the second they talk about franchising him, he goes on Twitter. He's like, "This is, they don't respect me." I was like, "Dude, this is what people talk about you. Like, chill out for a second."
So Ben, did he react to these allegations on Twitter? Did I see something about that?
Yeah, he posted like a screenshot of a notepad on the iPhone. I'm gonna have to do a sit down to tell all about these last 5 years of my life. Like, people have no respect. This is I gotta address everything basically.
So is this something that happened recently or something that happened 5 years ago?
Schefter said it's a story he's been tracking since the beginning of the season, but I don't know when this video is alleged to have been recorded.
It just seems shady to me.
And I agree with Carson.
Super shady.
I think that 5-year comment was out of nowhere, So, I mean, I know he's been in the league for about 5 years.
Yeah,
But, I mean, it's kind of like, why do you have to address everything from the last 5 years? Like you said, did this happen several years ago? If it happened 5 years ago, that kind of lessens the blow of it, right? It's like kind of statute of limitations,
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he just meant like, my whole career, like people have, the Cowboys had to hire a personal security guard to go with him 24/7 because he was screwing up so much, and he had an incident at the mall where he beat someone up, or like at a movie theater or something in his rookie year. Like, he's not exactly a clean slate, but he's not, no record of being like a real shithead, like a bad guy. He just is like a kid that's a millionaire and can't control his emotions.
He's just had the standard strip club trouble, right? That every NFL player deals with.
Yeah, I think so. It's like a speeding ticket.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all cracked the bottle of Dom over somebody's head at the King of Diamonds.
Rachel's.
Exactly. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. What do you want to do next, Benny?
I just want to do a quick recap kind of our picks from the 3 tournaments we missed. So I know at Torrey Pines, I went with Tony Finau. He got a T25. I think that was your first missed cut of the year.
Justin Thomas let me down. Yep.
And then at Pebble, you took Jimmy Walker?
Yeah. Me and the rest of the world. He did okay.
He did respectable, and I want to defend my Kevin Na pick, my first miscut. He's my least favorite athlete alive, and that's just classic overthinking. Wanted to go with Cameron Tringali, saw he wasn't playing. I should have went with somebody else. I didn't. Whatever.
So you really didn't defend that pick at all. You just shit on your own pick for overthinking.
I looked and I saw Tringali had like 2 top 10s the last previous year. I wanted to go with Nick Watney because he had a good finish. I saw he had 2 missed cuts, so I was like, can't do that. And I was like, who else has done well? Kevin Na. 2 top 15s, then missed cut. I was so happy to see him miss the next 2 cuts because I hate that stupid guy.
Why would you pick him?
I don't know.
There's a lot of other guys, you know. See, I was pick a guy you like. I was pick a guy you root for.
I was like, I'll burn him early. I know. I learned that lesson. And I was riding the bandwagon. I was texting Jack. I was like, he's 3 under through 5. Let's go. And then he was like, bogey, double.
Let me put it this way. This podcast got off to a faster start than Kevin Nye usually does.
Yeah, it's saying something this week. And then the Northern Trust Open, I was between Dustin Johnson, who lost in the playoff, and Keegan. I went with Keegan because he said it's his favorite tournament, and he did a T4. Jack, you picked Charles Schwartzel. I think he made the cut but didn't finish that great.
He was like 40-something. He didn't do that great.
What a great tournament that was, though.
Yeah, I feel like all the announcers underplayed what James Hahn did a couple years ago, where he had that stretch on the West Coast. It was like Pebble, one of the earlier tournaments, maybe Phoenix, because he did the Gangnam-style dance on the green or whatever. But he's had success before. He had like 3 straight top 10s, and they made it seem like, oh, this guy was selling shoes 2 years ago. It's like, no, he's not. He was fucking top 5 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I was rooting for Dustin Johnson while I was watching it, and then the second James Hahn made that putt, I was so happy for him. Then if you watch his press conference after the next day, it was such a good press conference, and it was like, you know, maybe not 2 years ago, but like 2008, he said he was down to $200, almost had to quit. And, you know, now he's going to the Masters. He's about to have a kid. He's worth, you know, he's going to make it on the tour next year, next couple of years, like a top 10 swing on tour. So good for him.
Yeah, that dude's
Carson,
that kid's got some stones. I mean, he hasn't. He's been in contention a couple times, you know, at some points in the tournaments. But like to be he's in a playoff with DJ and Paul Casey, like two well-known, respected guys, and for him, how good were those flop shots by him and DJ on the 10th hole?
Incredible.
Those announcers were talking about how this is impossible. They need to play out to the right, blah blah blah, and they both just stuff it. To hit that flop shot, then back it up, make the putt, and then make the putt on the next hole. He's got stones, man. Stones.
Yeah. My favorite thing about his press conference is he's like, everyone kept calling me John after, and he's like, I think they think I'm John Huh, and I thought that was so funny. And I'll say about that 10th holes, and to speak on the flop shots, so many players like drove it in the greenside bunker and then went back and forth. I saw Dustin Johnson do it, obviously Scotty Piercy. So I don't know how they stopped that ball from the rough, which is basically pin high, when guys couldn't stop it from that bunker.
It had been raining pretty good though at the end there, so they did get a little bit of leeway with the softness there.
Yeah, that should have made it a lot harder to spin it though, shouldn't it have? It's kind of like evens out a little, maybe.
Yeah.
So the only thing I want to say about that is, yes, to your point, great shots, great flop shots. But every golf tournament, these announcers, dude, they make it seem like it's the most amazing. All they do is they set themselves up for it, right? Because golf is lacking drama, typically, right? Yeah. If he gets this within 8 feet, it will be miraculous. The average tour player would get it within 30 feet, and he puts it to 6 feet.
When they do that.
Oh, my God, what a shot. It's like, dude, they're pros. Okay?
Better than most. Better than most.
Like, stop trying to manufacture drama, all right? Paul Casey sucks. We know he's going to blow it. DJ's pretty solid, and James Hahn had 21 putts on 21 holes. He's probably going to get up and down, okay?
Yeah, that's absurd.
Then again, they have to do that. They have to do that.
They have to.
Yeah.
Boring as fuck otherwise.
Yeah. Routine pitch shot here.
Well, Paul Casey's chip shot was routine.
All right, so you want to move it? Paul Casey, yeah, he left it 30 feet short when the other guys put it to 6 feet.
Yeah, that was terrible.
You want to move to this week, the Honda?
Sure.
So Carson, I know you've been watching the show. The way Jack and I have been doing, we just pick one guy. a
Yeah.
week, and you can't pick the same guy again.
Right.
I know, Jack, before the show you were saying a solid ball striker. I was between a few guys. Graham McDowell has had success there before, but he hasn't had enough appearances for me this year, so I'm going to go with Ryan Moore. I know you already picked him, but he's a solid ball striker, had a good year, did well there last year, I think, the T10, and so I think he'll do strong this week.
Yeah, he's just a cool dude in general with that golf swing. That's his golf swing, no coach, no nothing. He's just a golfer. I like that pick.
I didn't pick Ryan.
You got one for me, Carson? Or Jack?
I picked Ryan Palmer earlier in the year. I haven't picked Ryan Moore yet, so I still have him.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
sorry. I meant Ryan Palmer.
That's a James Hahn, John Haas situation. No big deal.
I have Ryan Palmer written down here, and I picked Ryan Moore instead. Ryan Palmer.
Is that who you want, Ryan Palmer?
Ryan Palmer. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think that's a terrible pick.
That completely changes my analysis.
Ryan Moore.
I realized when you said that's his own swing, because like Ryan Moore will like pick it up at the wrist kind, and I was like, Ryan Palmer swings like pretty normal.
Yeah, and he asked also. You guys were talking about that, him getting all his info from his caddy.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I picked that up from you guys. I didn't know that. That was cool. Thanks, guys.
It's crazy. It's like, all right, here's a 7-iron. We'll cut. Just hit it.
Robot.
Yes. He's great.
So Jack, I'm sorry. Who was your pick?
I went with Justin Rose, and a couple of reasons is I've been slow playing this whole year, taking shitty guys and just trying to get rid of them and saving my big guys for later. And it's time.
Kevin Na?
Like Kevin Na, and with the performances that they've been putting up, I kind of got to go steady Eddie here. And I feel like Rosie is not going to finish outside the top 10. He's just a pure ball striker. He always hits his iron well. He plays the Florida swing really nicely. He has a couple nice finishes at Doral. And like I said, I've been to that Honda tournament before. The wind swirls like crazy. It's right on kind of a development, so that there's a lot of hazards everywhere. You can hit it into condos really easily, hit it into the water really easily. So you want a guy who can flight and control his ball. And, when he's on with his putter, he does well. So I was going to pick Ricky, because I think Ricky's a hot choice this week as well. He's been playing well, and he's a great iron player, obviously. The only thing that scares me with him is a little bit of a roller coaster ride, and I don't want to be in a situation where Ricky's got the lead on Sunday afternoon, and then he kind of does his classic dump 2 in the water on 14 and melts away to the 8th or 15th spot in the leaderboard. I think Rose is just real solid. That's the guy I want.
Yeah, that's a good pick as well. This is going to be a big dog tournament. The way that I see it, it's going to be one of those big names. Like you said, I like Ricky a lot. He can just work. He can work the ball so well, and he'll play good in the wind. I think I had written down, Ricky, DJ, or Garcia. Those guys are playing hot, and they're all good ball strikers and can, overpower it a little bit. It's going to be a big dog golf tournament, though.
DJ is an interesting one because, Ben, I was so surprised when you talked about him for the tournament. He was one of your picks because I am so not on board with him being ready to be back in contention and back in the mix with everything. And obviously he proved me wrong and a little bit right there at the end. He played way better than I was expecting him to last week, but I just think he still needs more reps. He needs to feel that kind of being in the mix and getting in tournament shape. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
I think DJ is going to be killing it. He's been in contention last 2 weeks, ever since Torrey. He's had good shows, and I think that, man, he's clear now. He's clear.
Did he just had a baby, right?
He just had a baby, man. Everyone wins after they have a baby.
Having a baby is like the perfect. Johnny Manziel should have a baby. It's like the perfect post rehab maneuver. I'm all grown up. I have these new responsibilities. So Johnny Manziel, if you're listening, have a kid.
Yep. Definitely increases your chances of winning.
Benny, are you there? You're frozen on my screen.
He's frozen.
Oh no.
But I think Jack? Did you hear the story about DJ? Did you read the article when you had that sit down?
Try and guess what my favorite part was.
Well, I think I know what your favorite part was.
He walks in with a Sultan.
The dip. He's got his advisors around him, but the dip is still still spitting.
Here's my question with that: is obviously we know he dips, right? How does he not do that during the tournament?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just not what I would need that, you know?
Yeah.
Did everyone get kicked out, or was that just me?
Just you.
Just you.
What the heck? Sorry, Carson. I missed who you picked, though.
Like all of it? Wow. No, I just said it was going to be one of the big names in this tournament. This golf tournament always seems to just bring out the big guys and bring them. It's like dude. It reminds me of a major. Oh, me and Jack were saying that earlier. It's going to be tough golf, and it's good. I would say we were talking. I mean, Jack were saying, I said DJ and DJ or Garcia or Ricky. Those are the three that I really think are going to come out. They've all been playing well, and they'll all play well on the golf course.
I know you were given, you said it's a big dog tournament, and not to give a hot take from the Golf Channel, but I think Rory's going to show up and win it. I know I made my pick for our we can only pick one, but I really think Rory's going to show up, and whip his dick on the table, and win it.
I mean, you look at everyone's saying that. It'll be interesting to see if he can live up to
the
that.
Complete opposite of a hot take, but I just think he's super confident right now. Not quite how Tiger was when he scared everyone, but it's getting close as anyone has ever been to that.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. He's dominant when he's good. And just when he's good, he's still dominant.
Counterpoint is I like narratives and career arc, and I feel like Rory's been so up for so long. He's due for a little bit of a roller coaster. Remember when he hit it left of left at Augusta?
Yeah,
And
that was before his career arc started, though.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, he was leading the Masters on the 10th hole. That's pretty far on your career arc. I just feel like he is so expected to do well this week that I think he will do well, but I could very easily see him kind of not living up to the expectations. And a part of me, it's just as a Tiger fan, wants it to be like him to get the shit under the microscope that Tiger gets, which is, why isn't your game so good? Why'd you shoot 73 on Thursday? It's like, oh my God. I kind of want that to happen. So I'm pulling for a little 73 Thursday.
It is, and it is always tough to come out and win in your first start.
Yeah.
I know he's been playing overseas or whatever, but
what has he been doing he played in the Middle East, right? And did he win or did he win or did he come close to winning or
he
what?
won in Dubai. I think he smoked everyone in Dubai.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
And Jack, don't mistake me picking him to win as me wanting him to win.
Oh no! I think we established that with the Kevin Na pick. We know it's brain over heart for you.
Dude, another thing that plays into it is all the those Ricky, DJ, Rory. They're all sleeping in their own beds this week. That plays into it too.
Yeah.
Tiger always said that, right?
Well, we don't know what bed Rory's sleeping in this week. It could be anyone.
That's true.
Three or four.
That's true.
You guys want to move on to our last golf topic? I just want to hear your thoughts.
I gotta say one thing real quick, because it's been nagging at me. Ricky Fowler, with one of the greatest upgrades in the last 20 years. His girl is an
Cobra? Switching from Titleist to Cobra?
Woo!
Woo!
He upgraded big time.
Jack,
I saw that first Instagram pic, and I was pretty thrilled by it.
I saw her up close and personal the other night drinking a Corona, and she looked pretty fine. Pretty fine.
So, big question. Corona Extra or Corona Light?
Oh, I couldn't. I didn't want. I didn't. I don't want to be that guy just staring too much, man.
If she's an extra girl, he'll win a major.
That's the kind of intel we brought you on for.
He was also drinking Coronas though too.
Was he really? See,
Yeah.
that's a side plot that I want to talk about for real quick about Ricky. Is I read an article back in the day where he was like, "No, I don't drink."
Yeah,
Literally, he
I
flat
read
out
that
said,
too.
"I don't drink," and he said, "I don't party. I don't do any of that stuff." He wears that tequila shirt, whatever that company is. I forget. It's not Avion, but it's one of those other tequila ones, and he still kind of says he doesn't drink. Russell Wilson does the same thing. He says he doesn't drink. He fucking drinks.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
got.
obvious.
Yeah, I got an argument with one of our members that was trying to tell me he doesn't drink. I'm like, are you kidding me? And they're like, no, he doesn't drink. No, I don't. I'm like,
Golf
come on,
Tiger
man.
said it.
Like, come on, man. You're crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, what's the other golf one?
So-
Davis Love.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of the Davis Love selection and the whole golf committee thing?
Go ahead, Jack. I don't know.
It's just boring. We're so boring. You know, it's like you establish this whole committee, and the whole committee decides to go back to Davis Love. And everyone can say, oh, they did such a good job at Medina for the first
Yeah.
couple of days. And, they
And
blew
let
it
me
at the
just
end.
say, I still blame him.
They got the loss.
Right. It's a win or a loss, and you lost. So why are you back in it? You know? I don't get it. Freddie, I mean, I feel like they always go between. It's kind of like an NFL team who fires their coach, right? You go back and forth between a player's coach, a taskmaster, a player's coach, a taskmaster, whatever you think that the vibe needs to change. Obviously, Tom Watson was a guy who did it his own way, taskmaster, whatever. Freddie Couples would have been perfect. He's friends with all the guys. It's a nice, relaxed atmosphere. And I don't know why he didn't get it. I mean, why do we go back to the well with these guys? And my biggest problem with the whole thing is, outside of Tiger Woods, under the radar, Darren Clark is like my favorite golfer of all time. I love him. I love the way he plays. I love his whole attitude. It's going to be very hard for me to be like, oh, let's go. I hope Davis Love beats Darren Clark. Because in any tournament, if they were going head-to-head,
What?
I would be all in on Darren Clark. I love Darren Clark. Love him.
I agree that Derek Clark's the man, but you can't have hesitation rooting for the U.S. against
No, I'll root for the US.
the Europeans.
I'll root for the U.S., obviously. But I'm just saying, if you're looking at the outlook and who I would rather have as a leader, Darren Clark every day and twice on Sunday.
Carson, sorry, I cut out for a bit. I don't know if you gave me any pick.
No, you know, I understand. I understand what they're doing, but like, I don't like. One, they lost at Medina. All right, so you can't get like giving them credit for the first 2 days. It's like giving a coach credit. You guys were winning in the up until the
First
third
half.
quarter. Like,
Yeah.
come on, like they didn't seal the deal. Freddie's a cool. Everyone likes who doesn't like Freddie. You know,
You
everyone
gotta
likes,
have him as a co-captain. You have to have him as a co-captain.
No, he's not. I mean, he is bringing my Minnesota boy Lehman on, but and Freddie, dude, what? Freddie's won the last two. He's been the captain of the last two winning President's Cup teams, right?
President's Cup, yeah.
Right.
At least one. Yeah, you're probably right. At least one. That's
so-
different though. That's a walk in the park.
Hey, listen.
let me say,
win's a win.
Yeah, let me say, I think I'm always nervous about the Ryder Cup. Like, their camaraderie, like, they're just better. But I think this year we're going to be so good. Like, hopefully you'll have Koepka on it. Hopefully it'll be like all younger
Yes.
guys. And the whole European team is just getting older and older. Like Lee Westwood. Like, I mean, how long can these guys continue to really excel? It's another year and a half from now. I think they're going to be good in 2016.
Dude, I completely agree. I'm such a golf dork. I put together like a little mock like Ryder Cup team.
I thought about doing that. Yeah.
And dude,
Dustin
with
Johnson will be.
Koepka, Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Walker, Reed, Ricky Fowler.
Fowler.
I mean, like these guys that are coming up.
Dustin Johnson will be sober.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can
I'm
throw
excited.
a veteran like Snedeker or Bill Haas. You know, like this is gonna be good, man. I think they're gonna be good.
Yeah,
2 points.
I agree.
Are 3 points. Number one, the no-brainer captain selection should have been Bill Belichick. There's no way we lose. captain of the Ryder Cup team. Okay. Point number 2 is, what have you explained to me what the other changes with the committee were? Like somebody said, I think BA said today, like, oh, now Phil's not going to be on it. What was the change besides choosing the captain that the committee decided on? Was there a change in selection process?
Yeah, there was. It's everyone on Twitter is basically calling it the Billy Horschel rule because everyone knows he should have been on the Ryder Cup team.
Right.
But like we stupidly have to have the teams like cemented before the FedEx Cup playoffs, and now all the captains' picks except for one are done before the Tour Championship, I think, and then after the Tour Championship, you can pick one more guy.
Right.
So that's the Billy Horschel rule.
Is that it?
Yep.
So why is
I believe.
Mickelson not
I think
gonna be
BA's
on
just
it?
saying like. I think that's just BA saying like he's not going to be good, not going to qualify at that time.
He'd be a great captain.
He will
Yeah,
be a
for
great
sure.
captain. He will be a great captain.
They should
Yeah.
just say, hey, man, if you make it, you're the player captain. Because, I mean, you have all your assistants captains go around and fucking watch these guys anyway. Just
I think-
do a little Bill Russell, player coach.
Dude, I think a player
They were saying
captain, a player captain would be a great idea.
Flip the
Great
script.
idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were saying Mickelson sets up so many of those money matches that he like trains guys for the Ryder Cup anyway.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier when you were when you got cut off. It's he lives for that kind of stuff. He trains like you just said. He trains those guys for it. He'd be perfect.
Yeah, I was reading those articles this week or last week. They were pretty good.
The one of the funniest tweets I saw about it was from your boys at No Laying Up, who said they're like pretended they were a fly on the wall in the committee meeting room, and it was like, all right, so does anybody have any opinions on who should be the captain? And Tiger goes, Freddie should be it. Awkward silence. Does anybody who's on the team have an opinion?
Here's a question, Ben. Here's a question for you guys. How about
Carson, do you follow those guys?
No, I don't. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, I know, Jack, you were like iffy on them before. I think they're great golf coverage, and I think they're hysterical. So just a shout out to them. Everyone should follow. It's either No Laying Up or Never Laying Up on Twitter, and
It's No Laying Up.
they're really, really, really good.
No, but Ben, here's a question for you. Ryder Cup captain, not a golfer. Who would it be? Like celebrity, rapper,
Well, I think
Love how rappers the second
Jack,
movie
choice.
star?
I know Jack said Belichick. I don't think he knows anything about golf. He knows personalities, but I think he's a little too boring for this.
Oh yeah, because Tom Lehman
let Jack-
epitome of excitement.
Hey, I didn't say that either. Jack, are you sticking with Belichick?
I'll come up with another one. You go first.
Ah, man. Carson, who would you pick? Let me get my brain turning a little bit.
Dude, I could name off a couple that I'd like to see. How cool would it be to have like Clint Eastwood?
That's what it popped in my head. That's so weird. You wouldn't even say anything. You'd just be grumbling to the whole thing.
Clint Eastwood or like Samuel L. Jackson. Like, just do Obama. Like,
No.
what if
A good one would be
That would be the most dysfunctional team room of all time. They'll be like, wait, so why are taxes high?
I think a good one, but it's like a little too boring, is Michael Jordan because all those guys still worship him, and he'd be like, Keegan, I got $50K on you to win by 2 holes, so you better fucking win this.
Yeah.
How's Jordan doing managing the Bobcats?
They're coming
It's
around.
completely different.
They're coming around.
The best thing
They're the Hornets.
the best thing I
alright?
read is a tweet. Is a tweet a couple years ago, and it's like, yeah, Jordan's on his second 18 of the day, and he's smoking a stogie. He looks over at his partner. He's like, "Hey, how's that team we run doing? The Bearcats or something like that? And like, the Bobcats?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever." Like he's just a billionaire, chilling, playing golf. Got his Brazilian new wife. And it's funny, I remember when I was little, I was saying to my grandpa, I was like, when I was really into Michael Jordan, I was like, he's going to be a great coach one day, blah, blah. And he's like, no, he's not, because he's like too good, and he has such weird expectations. He just thinks everyone's that good. And I know Larry Bird's obviously a great coach and GM, but like I think Jordan just still thinks he could do better than probably half the players on the team, and like that's just a weird setup. And he
Same
doesn't
thing.
give a fuck, probably.
Same thing with Kobe. Kobe's the same way. That's why he can never be a coach. He thinks he's better than everybody else, and he knows he's better than everybody else, and he can't teach that.
Did you guys watch that Grantland
By the way,
Hour?
Yes, I did. It was awesome.
That was awesome. Kobe was great on that.
He was really, really good.
Yeah.
The funniest part about that, and then we'll get back to the Ryder Cup, is you always hear guys being like, I came through so much adversity to get to where I am today. That's the narrative that everybody uses, right? And Kobe started saying that, and I was like, I can't wait to see where this is going. Because you grew up like in a posh, lifestyle in Italy. Your dad was a pro baller. Like you went to a really exclusive Lower Merion, PA high school. Like you had you went through a great upbringing. You've always been sick. No one has ever questioned you. You've always been awesome. What's your adversity? And his story was that clip from the Showtime doc where he's like, this kid named Victor came up to me. And he said, I heard you can ball a little bit, but I'm the best baller at this school. And I got so mad. I was filled with so much rage that he could think he was better than me. And I went out on the court and destroyed him.
Him.
I was like, that's your adversity? Victor? Really? That's what you got? Come on, man.
I chuckled after that.
I'm sorry. One more thing. This cracked me up. So I thought it was like a Saturday Night Live skit when he was comparing himself to Beethoven composing the Ninth Symphony while deaf, and he's like, I think what I do on the basketball court is similar to Beethoven composing the Ninth Symphony while deaf. Me overcoming this Achilles injury is the same thing. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? You're reaching, bro. You're really reaching. Anyway, sidebar. Sorry.
Well, I was done with Ryder Cup talk, and the transition with the MJ and Kobe being coaches. Carson requested a little basketball talk, and I know KG's back on the T-Wolves, and I thought that was saying like all the young guys and like one veteran was like, if KG walks in this locker room, you put your phones away, like you be serious. I think that's so great for a crappy team to have like a guy come in and like KG's just gonna whip everyone into shape. It's gonna be so good for Andrew Wiggins and all those guys to just be terrified of someone.
Hey, guess what? KG, Ryder Cup captain. That's my pick.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
the big ticket.
One.
That's not bad.
The kid. Oh man, Ben, dude, I'm so stoked about Garnett on the T-Wolves. I'm a huge T-Wolves fan, like one of the few.
Oh, so you're the one.
I'm the only one at this point. But I got the game DVR right now, so I'm looking forward to going home and watching KG. But how about this, guys? Have you ever seen this from a veteran at the end of his career? Like, can you think? I was trying to think about this. Like, can you think of another veteran that has, like, at the end of his career, gone back to like a shitty place, shitty team? Not looking for a ring, just to full circle it. Like I can't.
Only on a one-day contract, so they can.
Right. Yeah. But for Garnett I think that's so cool,
I remember people saying either last year or this year, they're like, when people said KG was coming back for another year, we were all just like, are you sure about that? Look at him now, he's going to go back. But you hear the rumors of him wanting to buy the team with Flip Saunders, which would be cool because he's made $350 million on the court or something. But he's still like the most passionate, intense guy, and I think it's going to be so good for the culture of your T-pups, as you call them.
The T-pups, yeah, the puppies. Yeah, man, I can't wait. You guys have to admit, I don't know how into the NBA you are, but you got to admit they got some nice pieces with Wiggins and Rubio, Levine, obviously. I mean, that athleticism.
So they still have Petrovic.
Petrovic. Peck, man, he's a gladiator.
I like that guy.
He's a gladiator. And then they're going to have a top 5 pick, hopefully Okafor, and with Garnett, they could be doing something. They have 12 wins right now, 12, and I'm saying they're going to be good.
That's it? Oh my God! I'm just starting to get into the NBA now with football finally being like way done, and I'm just starting to. I got the game on right now. I'm just starting to watch a few things and trying to catch up.
Here's my perfect analogy for KG. And Carson, you're not going to like this, but it's true. I don't like the whole I'm going home thing with him. I get it. That's where he started. But here's my analogy. The Timberwolves were Kevin Garnett's terrible single mother. They were the Des Bryant mother to him, okay? They were awful. They gave him no support. They gave him no household. They barely put food on the table. He was miserable, and they finally put him up for adoption. And here come the big, lovable Celtics. They love him so much. Come into our home. We're going to give you some fresh polo gear, have a nice steak on the table, okay? We're the foster parent that made him into what he is. You guys are the shitty parent, and now he's going back because he's got this love for his biological mother. Fuck that.
No, I mean he's just like, I mean, come on, my single ma. She brought me Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell.
Jack was so much better than my Patriots bedwetting analogy.
I mean, it is pretty good, Jack. I like that. Hey, listen.
So who's he going to the Hall of Fame as? A T-Wolf or a Celtic?
Ooh, that's a great question. He goes into
That's
the
like the
T-Wolf,
most.
man.
He goes in
I
as
would
what?
think so.
A T-Wolf, right? How long did he
I
play
would
for the
agree.
Celts for? 5 years?
Something like that.
He
4
played-
years, maybe.
I know he played.
5 maximum.
So he played. I think-
2008 to 2007-8 season to
2012.
2008. So it was 2007 to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
For some reason, I get really into that kind of stuff. Like, I'm really into Darrell Revis. I really want the Pats to sign him to a multi-year deal because he's going in the Hall of Fame, and I want him to go in as a Pat, you know?
oh yeah.
Not
He would-
even so much for me, but just to stick it to the Jets fans even more. Can you imagine? He goes up there and he's like, the Patriots says nothing about the Jets. So perfect.
By the
So
way, I didn't get to say this before though about your Pats. Not to switch things up a little bit, but dude, how about Melvin Gordon as their pick?
I like him. I think he's going to be gone though.
Little Wisco boy.
I think he's going to go to the Colts.
He scares me because of all the other Wisconsin running backs that basically do the same thing. Because their offensive line's always just a bunch of huge Midwestern. They always have like the biggest O line. I feel like they're running. Who they have a guy on the Broncos now?
Monte Ball.
The last one.
Monte Ball.
Yeah, and he's nothing special. I don't know if I
Yeah,
like this guy better, but
look at Ron Dane's career. Look what he. Oh yeah, sorry.
I got
hard to
more,
handle. Hard to
one
handle.
more
Ron
NBA
Dane.
topic for you.
Shoot, Ben.
One more. It's just the tragedy that is D Rose.
Dude, what can you say?
I saw that last night, like just before I went to bed, and I just like felt so bad for him because like after the first one, you're like, okay, pretty common ACL, no big deal. These days, it was like really sad, and then you could tell he like wasn't himself, and like not many people are gonna remember how special he was, and now there's no chance he's the same guy.
No.
His best hope now is to be like Jason Kidd. His best hope.
Grant Hill.
Yeah, I mean all those. Everyone's saying Penny Hardaway, like the guy that was a superstar, gone too soon.
Both Memphis guys, right? Penny Hardaway went to Memphis, right?
Yeah, good connection. Blue chips.
There you go.
I don't know. It just sucks. It's like they joked on Todd McShay when he was doing the Barstool Combine. Your best ability is availability. That is a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill to stay healthy. And like they always say in the NFL, you can't make the team from the hot tub or the cold tub. It's the same thing. Like I feel bad for him, but at the same time, that's who he is. I mean, he can't stay healthy. It's not a freak accident anymore when it happens 3 times.
Yeah. I don't know. There's really nothing else to.
I just feel bad as like a fan, like not being able to. He like watching him when he was good. That was so much fun, He was so explosive. There just wasn't anyone. I mean, I would compare Westbrook right now to Rose when he was explosive before the injuries, and he was so much fun to watch. And it just sucks that no one's ever going to see that again.
He was like a more in control Russell Westbrook with better shot selection, and that was for like 2 years, and you're just never going to see it again.
Right. Yeah. Those damn knees, man.
They'll get you.
Bastards.
You guys got anything else to say? It's nothing more to say than it's just pretty sad.
Yeah. There's not much else you can say, man. But it'll be interesting. It'll be one thing that will be interesting to see. Does he just keep on coming back? You know?
He's only he's going to be 27 at the start of next year. Like you have to come back.
Like Jack, it's like that. It's Kobe talking about half-court shots. You know, you make one, you gotta make another one. You miss it, you can't end on that. Like,
you tear your meniscus, you can't end on that. To steal a Jalen Rose line, now that we're talking about the Grantland system over here, is my only thought and why it's not so sad is keep getting them checks, homie. Like, he is making
guaranteed money in b-ball.
He's got guaranteed cash. He's got the Adidas money.
Adidas money.
Damn, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I have 4 questions left. If you guys, there are 2 sports questions and 2 not, unless you guys have anything left to elaborate on.
Fire away.
Go for it.
All right. You just think logically and not like with your passion right here. If you can be the best player in any sport in the world, what sport do you pick? Jack.
I'll go soccer.
I know we're all going to want to say golf.
I'm going soccer.
That's in my top 3.
I'm taking the money because those guys, Messi and Ronaldo, make a ton of money. I'm taking the health that you walk away from the game with, and the international superstar status.
Yeah.
I like that.
Carson?
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of pull one out of right field, but I think I'm gonna go with a boxing.
Oh,
heavyweight champion.
Wow,
dude.
Okay.
Think about all right.
Tons of respect.
Strictly for the ring walk. That's it. That's the best part.
and the song, like the ring walk.
What's your ring walk song?
Oh, I don't know, man. Like. I'd kind of like want to mix it up and like go like Coolio, Gangster's Paradise, like, something like old school.
The Weird Al remix, right?
Yeah, Churn and butter. No, but so I just think about the money. How much money are these guys?
Floyd's worth $400 million. I saw the other day. So. Dude,
yeah. And what do you fight? Who do you fight? Like once every 2 years, And all right, here's another part of my reasoning. Think about like Tyson in his prime. Do you think did anyone ever say no to him? Ever? Like no matter what, he's like
that was the problem.
But think about how great that was. You could be like you could do anything. No one would ever want to mess with you, man. Go number one.
I feel like being the heavyweight champ would be like it's still a great pick, but like 30 years ago to do that, it's basically you're like the president. It's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
My pick though, I was sneaky. Well, I automatically eliminate like baseball, too many games, hockey, football. I sneaky thought tennis maybe, even though I think it's such a pussy sport. But like you make more money. If you're the number one, you automatically win majors. It's not like you're going to be like in football, like maybe not win a Super Bowl. If you're the best, you win majors. And then golf, just because like it's basically the same thing. If you're the best, you win majors, and it's cool. But I'm going to default back to soccer too. I think you still seem like an athlete. You are athletic, and you make a shit ton of money, and it's pretty cool.
You know what? I got to change mine. fastest man alive, Usain Bolt.
Mm.
Because Carson's thing just got me with like being the number one, whatever. You get out of bed every morning, you're like, nobody on earth
No
is
one.
faster than me.
That's pretty cool.
Your career is so short. Your
Who
career is so
cares?
short, though.
You have all the time in the world to chill.
No one's gonna forget Usain Bolt.
And you want to talk about Carson saying how the boxer you fight every 2 years? This guy is like 10 seconds every 4 years. You know what I mean? It's great.
What about hockey?
Too much of a bruiser.
I thought about that. Yeah, but you never. Those guys can always walk because there's like no friction on your knees. There's no pounding. You're just like gliding, and it's so badass. But the money is just not there. But
Yeah.
those guys are so cool.
They get the hottest girls too, man.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Shout out to Drury.
Jerry.
My next question, yeah, Willowbend member, respect. My next question, last sports-related question. So I want to hear your sports predictions you've been most right about. Like, I was thinking players, like, I had in mind players that I was like, oh, this guy's going to be so good. And then sports predictions you've been most wrong about, both ends of the spectrum. Carson, I'll let you go first this one.
This was a tough one. Because usually, like, the things that I'm wrong about, I just forget about. You know, I just write those off. But sports predictions the most right. You know what? When LeBron, Wade, and Bosch got together, I told a lot of people that they were going to win like 10 championships. And it never crossed my mind that they'd ever break up. Just because I thought they were going to be
I thought you were
way
going to go the opposite.
too good.
A lot of people thought they were going to win none. I thought you were going to be one of those people that's like,
No.
oh, they're never going to win.
No, see, I'm not.
I give you credit for that, though. I mean, they went to 4 straight finals, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that they were a resounding success.
Oh yeah, they were definitely
I
a
agree.
success, but I thought they were going to be together. You know, I never saw them breaking up unless they totally lost it. You know, as long as they were successful, I saw them sticking together. But
You got a correct one, or you want Jack for one of his wrong ones before we can circle back around?
yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I'll give you both of mine. I'll start with the worst one. It's not a particular player, but an event. And Ben, you know this one very well. Tiger losing to that fool. What's his name again?
Y.E. Yang, don't do that to me. Come on.
No, because I've never been more like there's like no shot. There's no shot that Y.E. Yang wins this. There's not even.
I was with you for that too, and I remember you being when Y.E. Yang chipped in on that short par 4, and you're just like, nah.
It's nothing to worry about because at that point he had never lost. You know, I've never been more wrong about, and I've never been more surprised by an ending. Even more so than Pat's 19-0. I was more shocked at Y.E. Yang. My best one is going back to LeBron. Was they broadcast his high school game on ESPN2, and I was a really dorky basketball fan, and I sat with a notebook. And I said, like, this day in history, LeBron's first televised game, he's going to be sick. I wrote down all the stats for the game. I did everything just to kind of have a record of it. The very next day, I had an old and one cutoff shirt, like, you know, back in the day. And I wrote in Sharpie, James 23 on the back. I had, like, the first ever LeBron James jersey. I went on eBay, and I bought for $100, and I still have it to this day, an autographed Sports Illustrated when he was on the cover in high school, just because I was like, I'm all in on this kid. I know he's going to be sick. I know he's going to be great. And obviously, you know, he had all the hype, so it's not like I wasn't going out on a crazy limb. But you think about all those guys that bust, and he didn't. So he's obviously proved me right. So I'll take credit for that one.
That's impressive. I got mine. The one I will say I was wrong about, but I think that's like most people were, and Jack, I know you agree, is like the flashy wide receivers from college, like USC Mike Williams and Charles Rogers from Michigan State, just those guys being busts. But that's not even the one I'm going to choose. Carson, I think you'll like a Wisconsin product in high school, I thought Alonzo Tucker from Wisconsin was going to be like so filthy in the NBA, and I got in so many arguments about how he's going to be a lottery pick, and he was just so bad.
Oh man, I hadn't heard that name.
Can I say something about the flashy wide receivers? Real quick,
Yeah.
flashy wide receivers is when the Patriots drafted Richard Seymour, whatever draft that was, they had the 8th overall pick. There was a wide receiver from Michigan named David Terrell that I was obsessed with. And when we passed on Terrell for Richard Seymour, I was like, that's the stupidest decision in the history of professional sports. This David Terrell's going to be a stud. And I don't even think he played a down in the league, and Richard Sherman's a Hall of Famer, so that's a pretty bad one.
And the one that I had for myself that was a great pick was, and Jack, I think you know this story, Blaine Gabbert. I remember Schefter tweeting about, as good as draft picks, and then I saw the Gruden camp with Blaine Gabbert, and I was like, dude, like this guy has no clue what he's talking about. He's literally clueless when it comes to football. And Schefter, instead of replying to me on Twitter, DM'd me and just goes, disagree. And I still have it to this day, and I'm so proud that I predicted that Blaine Gabbert would suck.
You gotta frame that tweet. That's frameable.
I'll post it.
Frame a tweet.
I'll post it in this video. I'll post it in the final edition, a screenshot.
Just print it out on some shitty piece of paper and put it in a frame with Schefter's DM to you.
I will.
All right. So what I
Carson, you got.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I remember in high school watching Marshall play. I think I was watching the game where Randy made the route across the middle and jumped over the dude and took it for a touchdown. And I remember just being infatuated with Randy Moss before he was drafted. And then, the Vikings drafted him. Oh, I was so stoked, and I was like, dude, I'm so happy that they did this. And putting him with Carter, I have to say that I was all about Randy Moss, and he proved to be pretty darn good that first season.
You know what? Going back
My
to your
favorite NFL player of all time.
Going back to your point before about Garnett coming back, I mean, I know it wasn't voluntary because he got traded back to the Vikings, but that's a kind of a similar type situation where you're at the end of your career and you kind of go back to where it all started. Yeah, and also has a thing where Boston was the beautiful Foster family that took him in and took him for a nice ride in the Lincoln. Went back to the Hoopty and Minnie.
Yeah. No, that's a good comparison there, Jack.
Thank you, sir.
You got
it. Randy Moss is my favorite player of all time, and the only reason I became a Patriots fan. I was a Vikings fan before he got traded to
You're a Vikings fan?
So Carson, I was a Vikings fan from the time they drafted Randy Moss until when he was on the Raiders. I was kind of in flux, and then I became a Patriots fan when they got Randy Moss.
Yeah, man.
Little known fact about Ben.
And thank God, God delivered me to the promised land.
He did.
Little known fact about Ben Bryant is he has a game-worn Morton Anderson jersey that he wears every Sunday.
No, I have an autographed Dante Culpepper Vikings helmet.
Close.
Ooh, that's Culpepper. Woo.
Yeah, R.I.P. So you guys have any final sports things to say? I got two what I think are pretty good questions completely on sports related.
Are you gonna do that? You're not gonna talk about the most untouchable record?
I lost that when I left from my apartment.
Can we talk about that just
Here,
real quick?
Yeah.
Jack.
I'll let you lead it off. Untouchable sports record.
Yeah, what is the most untouchable sports record?
I know it. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken.
See, I like that. But there's like I kind of did some research on this one, and there's a lot of. That's why I was like, "What are you not going to talk about?"
I was on Wikipedia all afternoon.
There's a lot of crazy ones. My bad. How about Wilt's 100 points?
Mm-hmm.
No one's gonna. No one, Wilt's
Oh,
100
yeah.
points. Wilt's 55 rebounds. I mean, no one's gonna touch either. Of
Yeah,
those.
just because of the rules of the game, the way it is. But I think I forgot about whenever I wrote that down, I keep notes on my phone of questions to ask on this. I must have had something in my mind, but I think basically the top three are all baseball related, aside from the Wilt, which I forgot about, and that's the Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak, 56 games, is like that just seems so absurd to me.
No,
Cal
But that's
Ripken,
but that's gotten like Ichiro had like 40 something, didn't he, a couple of years ago?
but a lot of the guys that, yeah, it gets close and you're still 12, 14 games away, and a lot of guys do it in a wraparound season, like finish with 20, and then they'll start off. He did it all in one season. And then I got Cal Ripken, and then the home run record, the legitimate, whether you want to talk about that or you want to talk about Barry Bonds. Like, if they're really cracking
saw
out on
that,
drugs,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
I don't know another guy that's going to get past
79.
Hank Aaron.
Well, how
Yeah.
about 79 in a season? No one's. I mean,
Oh, that's absolutely untouchable. What did they have? The guy, they cracked down and stuff. The leader this year was like maybe 40.
48.
It might have been less. Yeah.
How about this one, Ben? That actually like opened my eyes up a little bit. Jack, you also. Byron Nelson, 11 consecutive PGA victories.
Yeah, I remember Tiger won like 7 or 8, and people were talking about that. And
Yeah, he won 7.
And you got 4 more in a row. Yeah, that's
I
impressive.
think Kevin Na's got a pretty decent shot at that.
Jack, did you have? You brought up Cal Ripken, or was that Carson?
Yeah, I think,
Well, Jack.
Ripken. I mean, that's just so absurd when you think about it. It's just with the way that these guys get babied today. Not only are you can't get babied, but you also have to be good enough to maintain your position for that long.
Yeah.
Just
How about that the Cal Ripken rumor with Kevin Costner and his wife?
Didn't hear that one.
Carson, have you heard that?
Mm-mm.
So I guess on the night
Breaking news
of
on the
either-
Minute podcast.
No, this is a well-known rumor. Either that night or a week before, sort of like down the home stretch, they were filming that Kevin Costner movie where he's a pitcher for the Tigers. I don't know
For
if
the
you've
Love
seen
of the
it.
Game.
It's a pretty good movie. Yeah. And so I guess Kevin Costner was banging Cal Ripken's wife, and he found out, and he's like very distraught, and the lights went out at the stadium. There was like a power outage, and he was late for the game because he was arrived at the game. They turned the lights on, and he played in the game
Wow.
to keep the streak alive.
They turned the lights out for Cal, huh?
Yeah, I guess
That's
so.
a pretty good one.
After Cal's wife got her lights turned out. Costner.
So, classic Costner, because I remember I watched this thing when the whole Tiger thing broke, that they had these porn stars. I forget the porn star that Tiger slept with, one of them, at least that came out, Jessie Jane, I don't know what her name is. She has like a show, like a YouTube channel or something, where they do like a talk show or whatever. And the girl who she was on with, and they were like, what other celebrities have you slept with besides Tiger? And she was like, oh, Kevin Costner. He was always coming around. Big dick Kevin Costner. So it doesn't surprise me.
All right, sorry, Ben. Go ahead. Let's fire these off.
You want the last 2 questions?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for catching me on that. Jack, I think I'm going to submit these 2 to KFC Radio. I think they're pretty good. I think they'll get on. So here's the one I thought of first. For, let's say, $15 to $20 million tax exempt, you can pick the number if you want it higher, whatever. Would you let a random guy between 18 and 25 take a shot with a sniper rifle, never shot a gun before, at you from half a mile away?
Half a mile? Hell yeah.
With
Are
the
you kidding?
sniper
That's
rifle.
yeah, but
Caesar,
if
you're dead.
it makes contact with you, and
This
I
guy's
guess
got no professional
I
training,
mean-
and he's a half a mile away. There's no chance he hits me. There's no chance he fires the gun even half correctly. He has to measure the wind. He has
One
to
shot.
also American Sniper. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'll do it right now. You got a gun?
One shot?
Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it into a quarter mile. Yeah, one shot.
One opportunity.
Dude, I don't ever want to get shot at.
Hot take.
Yeah.
But
You don't do it, Ben?
That's a good one, Ben. Oh,
Ben, you say no?
I think it's like that's just so in the middle because if it hits your leg, it just probably rips off your whole torso and you're dead anyway. I was watching a documentary like if it comes
If it
within
hits you
2
in the
feet,
leg, it rips off your torso. Do you need to take an
Yeah.
anatomy class?
dude, I
How does
swear,
that work?
Jack, the bullets are like this big. Like they said, I was watching a documentary. They said if it comes within 3 feet of you, it'll burn your flesh because it's so hot and going so fast.
yeah, it's coming
like,
from so far, too.
If it makes contact with you, it just rips you in half, like wherever it hits you. So it's like such a 50. I don't know if I could stand in front of it for even all that money. But like if it missed you, a random guy could miss you by 1,000 feet and you get $20 million.
See, my whole thing is those guns are good. Like those scopes on those things. I mean, how much time are you getting? Does he have a shot clock?
He has one shot as long as he wants, but he doesn't have like a wind meter or a GPS. He's just got the crosshairs.
Let me break this down for you because I just did the math, okay? And in terms we can all understand, all right?
What math did you do?
Quarter mile, okay? A quarter mile is 440 yards. So you're telling me an absolute novice is standing at the gold tees on the 6 tee box. I'm holding the pin, and he's going to snipe me? Get the fuck out of here. Pay me my money.
That actually made me feel worse. I think I'm less likely to do it after hearing that.
Yeah.
You're crazy. I can't even hit the fairway on the 6th hole. Never mind a bullet to the pin.
Dude, my grandpa just gave me one of his rifles, and it's like a shitty old rifle, and he said that thing will go a mile. A sniper rifle probably goes 3 miles on a straight line. All they got to do is line me up, and they got like enough of a shot where they can fucking kill me.
You got like a 6 out of 10 shot.
Listen, if there's like one of those red dots, I say no because I don't want to know it's coming.
No, you know it's coming. It's like I'm standing here. I either get the money or I'm dead.
I would turn around, and I would just face the other direction. And because you hear it, and it's like.
Nah, Ben, put it in the rules that you have to watch it.
All right.
No turning around.
So Jack's definitely doing it. I'm like 60-40 no, and Carson.
I'm out.
You're out.
I value my life, man.
Here's my last question of the night.
I'm balling in the Bahamas, bro.
My last question.
You're still going to take us, though, Jack, right?
For sure. For a weekend.
All right. So you can either be paralyzed for a year from the waist down, and all that comes with, like, shitting your pants and catheters and all that, or you wake up every single day for a year with, the worst hangover you've ever had.
I mean, no doubt about it. I'd take the hangover.
I got the hangover.
Yeah.
Well, I've been there.
Yeah, and I survived. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Better than ever.
I'm a big shot.
I genuinely don't know because I'd have to quit my job. Like you wouldn't be able to go to work.
Couple Gatorades, bacon, egg, and cheese.
Listen, after like a week of those hangovers, don't you just get used to it?
No, it's every day's fresh. Every day's fresh.
Let's bring in Charlie Sheen to ask him. Charlie, come here.
Wouldn't you just start drinking right away in the morning?
Hair of the dog, baby. Get after it.
Yeah.
A couple bloodies.
Dude, the most debilitating hangover you've ever had, you've thought I could just have a beer and feel good after this?
You know what, Ben? We've all been through that, and we know what it feels like. None of us know what it feels like to be paralyzed from the waist down, and I don't ever want to feel that way.
I can at least walk around and go to the bathroom.
Dude, but won the Super Bowl. Wasn't even the most hungover I've ever been, and I called out of work that day.
Ben, what's the most hungover you've ever been? That's a great question, though.
Well, the other good part about the hangover is you get to spend every night of the year with John Escobar. That's the silver lining of this whole thing.
It's true.
Playing Dringa. Every night's awesome.
Yeah.
Every night's awesome.
Obviously,
you're forgetting that.
Being paralyzed would suck for sure. I can't imagine like that feeling where you can't move it, but I just think at least you'd be able to like go to work and function, but where you'd have to stay in bed every day for a year.
That's true.
So you take paralyzed.
For 1 year, I'm gonna take paralyzed, yeah. And then maybe I play that in something. And they're like, "Holy shit, you can walk again!" It's like an incredible story. Whereas they're like, "Wow, you've been in bed for the last year, throwing up. Like, thanks for coming out, bro."
So to recap, I'm getting shot at and hung over his balls. And Benny, you're living not with $15 million and you're paralyzed. Because you know what? Those two are related, right?
Yo, if you're balling with 16 mil, you're gonna be hungover every day anyway.
Exactly. Right? And if I get shot, I'll be paralyzed. So it's kind of like an A and B situation.
All right. Well, I think we resolved a lot there. It was a good episode, and hopefully we'll do it again next week.
Yeah. Clear enough for you? All right. Yeah. Why niggas look mad? All right. Y'all supposed to be happy on screen. Y'all niggas look like y'all wanted me to stay in jail. Oh, busters. Picture me rolling in my 500 Benz. I got no love for these niggas. There's no need to be friends. They got me under surveillance. I swear somebody.